Alright, ready, starting, and 하나, 둘, 셋. What's going on, everybody? My name is Jomel Socorro.
My name's Jarron Gaddis.
And we are the Wannabe Boo podcast, bringing the latest and greatest game and anime news, reviews, and waifus for life. Welcome to episode 82. I think I'm checking it right now because I completely forgot to do that as I was doing the middle of as I was in the middle of my fucking plug.
I was actually
so
gonna
sorry.
think it was fucking episode. What was it? 23?
What?
Not 23.
So I am correct. It is 82. I kind of went off of a random guess there, but yeah. Welcome to episode 82, everybody.
That big 2-8.
I mean, it's not really much of a big number.
Yeah,
We've
I
done this
mean,
82 weeks in a straight.
Kinda is. I mean, think about it. Yeah, 82 weeks straight.
Uh-huh.
That's impressive for anyone doing anything.
Yeah, I guess so. Even for like a starter podcast like us, you know, and given my late upload, I still upload them week by week. You know, even if it's not every Monday at 10 a.m. Chicago time. You know,
mean, it's a little difficult too, considering when we end up recording.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, once you get your ass back up here, it'll be I don't know. I think it'll be much more smooth of a recording process in general. So, you know, we don't know what the future holds yet. But as you already know, we're at episode 82, meaning that we're almost at our centennial episode, like
Centennial
100?
boy.
Yeah. So, and as you guys know, we did pass by 200. Oh, sorry. Passed
2,000.
by over 2,000 total downloads. And speaking of the downloads and all that, where if you want to keep that number going, Jarron, where could they help us out in increasing that download number for everybody?
Slapping on that plug early, boys and girls.
Yes,
so
of
we
course.
Don't forget.
Of course.
You can find us on Facebook or Twitter. Just search WANNABEABOO. You can also listen to us on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Listen Notes, the Stitcher app, or any other place that's picked up our RSS feed. And yes, motherfuckers, I did that fucking right this time.
Yes, I mean, did you ever get it wrong in the first place? I don't think you have.
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, I've gotten it wrong since they've changed. Since we changed the since it stopped being iTunes.
Oh, the specific Apple Podcast. Yeah, that's true. That was an adjustment that we all had to do for that. But also, I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm in the middle of chewing here for a second. I'm sorry. This is brought to you.
He's breaking podcast law
etiquette.
Right now. Yeah, etiquette.
I mean, are we really into the rules of podcasting in general? I don't think so.
Fair enough.
That was brought to you by our quick ASMR segment there. I hope you guys enjoy that. For you ASMR enthusiasts out there, I'll be doing more, and if you want, you can catch me streaming me eating gummy worms on late night on Thursdays. You know, I'm going. You know that kind of good stuff that the internet is made for.
Oh, yep. That's the whole purpose.
Yeah, definitely. But speaking of streaming, you like that segue there? As I said the past couple of weeks, I've only said this at the end of the podcast, which I should probably start doing in the beginning of the podcast, like our normal plugs.
Yeah.
But I have also started streaming on Twitch. Right now, I am streaming Destiny 2 on Twitch every Friday night, like around 10 to 11 p.m. I usually do 2 to 3 hour streams those days. With Shadowkeep right around the corner, there's plenty of prep work that has to be done when all those changes have to happen. And hopefully you guys can join me on the Twitch stream, and we can just enjoy myself getting beat in Crucible and or in Gambit, or walk about with like some clanmates like Martrell on Destiny as well.
And you might be able to catch my Noobish Adventures with him when it finally comes out for free.
Oh.
Because I'm not gonna put money into a game that I don't want to play.
Yeah.
At least not yet.
At least
You
not
know,
yet.
I might want to play it. You know.
I mean, I don't know what the rules are for Shadowkeep specifically. I think you may have to get Shadowkeep. I don't know.
Well, so from what I understand,
right.
the first up to what is it, Taken King? I think, or is that the first one?
No, it's in Destiny 1. Forsaken, you mean?
Forsaken. Up to Forsaken is free. Everything else after that is you have to pay for it. Because there's like 3 expansions now.
Right. Well.
Yeah. Base game's free.
Yeah.
But the other 3 DLCs you have to pay for separately. You can play them in any order, I think, which wouldn't make sense. But I think I heard you can play them in any order.
Yeah, but the thing is though, you don't actually need the other. For those of you out there who don't even want to deal with the other expansions, you can actually get Shadowkeep without. You can play Shadowkeep without having to be required to have the other expansions.
Yeah, but what about the story?
Oh, I mean, yeah, if you are a bit of a lore buff, I guess it would help out too.
I mean, let's be honest. There's no point playing Destiny unless you listen to the story.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, that's the only reason why I'm still in the community and whatnot. I feel like I'm actively playing a part in the ever-growing story of Destiny.
Ooh, look at me.
You know, exactly. I mean, like, it doesn't really help that I don't know much of my lore, but that's okay. This is why I have Martrell as our clan's lore master. He's the one that fills us in with the questions and or the holes that we had to fill in when it comes to whatever we're doing on Destiny.
Look at you, Mr. fucking Kirito on the front lines.
Please, I am not a world firster. I would love to be a world firster, but I don't have any friends. Marshall and I don't have enough friends to be qualified to do any kind of world firsting ability. World firsting activities. Yeah, it's like 1 out of like what?
You just join a clan.
We are a clan already. We're the Fedora Knights of 420. Okay, we need. I don't know who came up with that name. I feel like it was either Matt or Martrell, or both of them.
I'm sure. Yeah, you got Matt, even though he's in basic now.
Yeah, he won't be back till like April. So
yeah, well.
Though he said he might finesse himself like his council up there in like October or something.
There's stuff you can do to get around stuff.
Yeah, that's okay. But what also we didn't forget about this week is the actual assignment we were supposed to do last week in terms of our topic.
Well, I kind of forgot about it.
Well, I mean, I forgot. Oh, even for this week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nah, that's you.
I didn't realize. I didn't remember until like the middle of the day today, but I couldn't do anything about it.
No, that's okay. I mean, if it makes you feel better, Jarron, I didn't actually start my venture until today, as well. Because I knew I had to do it, but I didn't find the time to do it until today, like earlier today, as of this recording. But it's okay. I've watched 4 different series, just 1 episode, just like the first episode each, just because I didn't really have the time to like give the old 3-episode, 3-episode ringer.
That's for plot, not for content.
Okay, fine.
That doesn't make sense. That's for plot, not for testing.
Yeah.
What am I saying? I don't
know. Quality testing.
Quality. Yeah, there you go. Quality testing. So you get that in the first episode.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. We'll talk about this week's topic. What we were supposed to talk about last week. This week, and if I remember correctly, this was brought up on a topic from a commenter from YouTube actually.
Yes.
Some time ago. Let me just try to pull up the comment out there.
But basically, the rundown was that they were saying that dubs have gotten better or something along those lines. Or we should give them a chance.
Yeah, I think it was mostly just him telling us it was just to check it out. Yeah, he said, Luis Murillo, thank you again for commenting. This is like August 9th. This is like quite a bit ago, but that's okay.
Yeah.
He commented on one of the podcasts saying, you guys really need to check out the current dubs on Toonami. So, and I did just that. I went up to the Toonami/Adult Swim page and checked out the anime that they were providing on air. Mm-hmm. And out of the ones that were listed on there, I did watch 4, which have no, that are kind of brand new to like I guess like Adult Swim with the to the Toonami kind of
Yeah.
sphere. Because
Yeah.
other thing is on there were like Naruto, Boruto, Dragon Ball. They've been on the Western sphere for a while, and they've already kind of
Right.
had their
They have their
place.
cast, so it's not fair to
Yeah,
compare them because they still got people from the olden days.
yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. So, but the four that I did check out were, let me pull out my list here because
Actually, a
I'm
little
not
little
proficient.
little jump in here. There was news some time ago. Unfortunately, the guy that narrated Dragon Ball Z, you know the guy that said next time on Dragon Ball Z,
Oh, that dude? Yeah,
yeah, him. He
yeah.
died.
What?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh man, you know what? We can't just call him as the guy that narrated Dragon. What was his name?
Let me find out. Guy that narrated.
Was it the Japanese actor or was it the English
No, it's
actor?
the English voice actor.
English.
Because remember, his name was
Uh,
Kyle Henry Herbert.
wait, are you sure you still? Are you sure he
I
died?
heard he died.
You heard he died?
I heard he died. Maybe I'm wrong. Never
Hmm.
mind. He's still alive.
Okay.
I
we
think
just we just started an obituary with with a guy
maybe it
that's
was
still alive.
the Japanese voice actor.
Maybe.
I know someone that narrated Dragon Ball died.
Oh no, it is
Oh,
the
wait, here we go.
Japanese. It is a Japanese one. Yes.
All right, there we go.
Legendary Dragon. Or actually, hold on.
Yeah, I see it. Legendary Dragon Ball Z narrator Jose Lavo. Wait, what?
Yeah, hold on. Is the? I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, this was the guy that narrated Z. Yeah.
Oh, the old
Yeah.
Z. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I didn't realize they had two. I didn't realize they had two different narrators or two different voice actors for the narrator position. Wow. Well,
Yeah. Jose
yes.
Lavat, rest in peace, my friend. You did fucking good work.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see you next time once it's our time.
Right.
So.
But so this whole argument essentially came up since it's been about 2 episodes since we talked about it.
I wouldn't call it an argument, to be honest. It's more like a. It's been a
I mean,
deep
it's
rooted
not much of
discussion.
an argument. We already know subs and dubs.
It's a deep rooted discussion that's been going on since the dawn of dubbing anime since
Yeah.
like what the 70s, if I can remember. So.
But the main argument is that, again, as I so graciously said, typically
Mhm.
subs are better than dubs, or at least in my opinion, or any rational person's opinion. But
Alright,
anyway,
generally agreed upon.
generally agreed upon. However, I can admit, and anyone again that's rational should be able to admit, dubs back in the day, during the Inuyasha, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto days, they were fucking good.
That was like the
Really
golden age
good.
of like English dubbing out here in the West, from like what,
Right?
maybe early 2000s to like pre 2010.
I'll still say that fucking Cowboy Bebop is probably the best dub, like hands down.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does work for its styling. The way the show carries itself, and I mean, and that's also thanks to the incredible voice actors and actresses that do that give us the quality voice acting,
Right.
and that's also the reason why most dubbings nowadays aren't, at least they can't keep up to the golden age, just because at least what did we say?
Well, we were
About it
saying
some
that
time
it's like,
ago?
why did we have such great voice actors back then, but like shortly after that time period, it just got really bad, and then it just kind of stuck with that kind of bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad. If anything, it was more bland. If anything,
Yeah, bland, I should say.
because they didn't. Because at a certain point, was it English dubbing kind of got to a like a plateau, so to
Mhm.
speak, and they never tried to really improve on the actual acting behind the voice acting. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, here's
some.
the thing though. They didn't need to improve. It was our. I 100% honestly feel like it was perfect at that point. Like, think about this. Remember Naruto's voice actor?
Like the
Think
English
of
one?
just yeah, the English one. Remember his like shit eating, I believe it. That voice rattle ass motherfucker.
Right.
I don't know if he's still being voiced by the same person when in Shippuden now, or in Boruto, I should say.
I
But
mean, as
like
Boruto.
as Boruto, but like think about what you have to do on a regular basis just to record that the whole time. Like that hurts your voice, but he just did it.
Right.
You know?
I mean, hell,
Like where's
didn't
that
wasn't
at?
the didn't the Goku voice actor actually like throughout his almost throughout his entire voice because of all the yelling scenes from like was what is it, one of the arcs or one of
It
the
was
sagas?
specifically it was either the I don't remember if it was the first time he went Super Saiyan or when he went Super Saiyan 3. I believe it was when he went 3 because the whole
Mm-hmm.
point was to like simulate like his muscles being like torn up and shit as he got fucking huge.
Right.
But yeah, I think it was. I'm actually more positive it is Super Saiyan 3 that he threw out his vocal cords.
So
And
yeah.
he actually got hospitalized because of it.
Mm-hmm. So what are you trying to? So in ten into all that, John, what do you?
It just doesn't feel like the dedication is there. Now I'm not saying that it isn't, because obviously you're doing your job, you love your job, you're gonna fucking work hard as hell at it. I'm
Right.
not saying that there isn't. It just why I don't understand why there's this huge disparity between back then and today.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
And that's a fair assessment. I mean, especially nowadays too, since anime is becoming much more accessible
Hmm.
to Western audiences and even outside of Japan in general.
Right.
So dubbing is gonna be dubbing anime is gonna be much more of a regular thing in in voice acting, I guess you'd say.
Right. Right.
But out of the one series that I did watch so
Hmm.
far,
Hmm.
in terms of English dubbing, I can confidently say that it's not as bad as it used to be a couple years ago. I'll say that much.
Okay. Well, thank fucking Christ.
And I actually did that. I found an interesting what is it? I found an interesting, what do you say, correlation
Hmm.
between between the different series
Hmm.
and the dubbing performances and whatnot.
Right. Right. Right.
So, give me 1 second. I have to
Hmm.
look up one more thing.
I also wanted to like, if this is what you're alluding to, I also want to like take an anime from the middle of the bad era,
Oh,
just like
oh,
for sake of comparing that time to now.
okay.
'Cause
So,
see what?
was there ever a dub anime we could think of from like what
Well, I
2010 to
know.
like 2015 or something?
I remember it was around. No, it was around like 2000, maybe 2009 that I stopped watching dubbed altogether
Mm-hmm.
because that's when I became pompous.
That's when you've awoken as a true weeb,
Right.
John.
That's when it fucking hit.
That's where it all
Um,
started, ladies and gentlemen.
that's where I became powerful. But
Degenerate.
no, I wanna try to find one. Or unless or maybe I can think of one. But like, fuck, what did I watch back then that I tasted the dub and was like, nope, this is ass. Uh, it had to be any anime that had like that was going for the moe thing.
Devil Part Timer.
Yes, there we go. Devil Works as a part timer. I specifically remember that because we watched it in English in my anime club
Oh, okay.
around the beginning. Maybe
And
it
you
was like 7 years ago.
and you let
Damn.
that slide? How dare you?
Look, all right, look. I was not. It was not totalitarian. As much as I know I am correct, I have to be fair. So we watched. Yeah, we watched. We watched it. Works as a part timer in English,
Mm-hmm.
and the two main characters were okay.
Like Mao and what's her
Mao and
face, the swordswoman or the other dude? Oh, Astra.
Astra, yeah, Astra.
Oh, okay.
They were okay. I'm not. They weren't too bad. They
Right.
worked. And the hero girl? She was fine.
Yusa or Emmy,
You said, yeah,
whatever, which one you want to go with.
the short one.
Oh, Chiho.
Holy fucking shit! Did I want to kill myself anytime she said anything?
I'm looking her up right now. Let's see. Um,
Because she's
Chia.
supposed to have that high pitched, cutesy voice, and it just
Right, the Moe voice, pretty much.
the
You
Moe
know
voice, and it's weird. Actually, here's the thing. I actually kind of find it funny.
what?
So, just for the hell of it, well, I guess at the time I didn't realize it related to our topic of discussion today. I was watching like a clip from this Japanese game show
Uh huh.
where they had a voice actor on. I can't tell faces. Maybe I'm racist. Say what you want, but they didn't say her name.
Mm-hmm.
But they were talking about stuff, and she was doing the voices. She was doing the cute moe one,
Mm-hmm.
and the contestant, the not the contestant, but the host and his co-host were poking fun at her, because obviously she's making herself sound weird, and I just think about it like
Right.
it's honestly not any different from when our voice actors, do this high squeaky voices for a character. It's no different. I guess maybe it should be because of the language perspective. It feels different. Like it feels more natural when they do it versus when we do it. But like,
Speaking like a true weeb.
right, speaking like a true weeb.
But I'm still not trying to. I'm still not following what you're trying to say here.
What I'm saying is, I think the Japanese also might find it weird.
Okay, so it's not.
that
So it's not just us.
it's not just us. It's doing a high squeaky voice for a character is weird.
Yeah. So I mean, so it can be generally agreed upon that doing a Moe voice is weird in any language.
Yes. So,
So
because like you come up, you go to the anime convention, and you got people ooh-wooing all over the place, and you're like, ugh, fucking stab him in the throat, please,
Right. Right.
And I feel like it's probably similar there when it's not being fetishized
Or like being
or being
implemented,
ironic.
or it being implemented into work, like
Yeah,
actual
right,
voice acting
right,
work.
right. Because you can do it again. You can do it here. You'll find it funny. You're doing it for your job. You got to do it for your job. What have you.
Yeah.
Or
Exactly.
you're doing it for the purpose of being ironic. Happens
Mhm.
everywhere. But when it's
Exactly.
done on purpose is when it gets fucking weird.
I know that's when you get those Nico knees.
Right. That's when you pull out the old weeb stomper, or I guess in their case the otaku stomper.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I can easily imagine Japanese, we've all every weeb's taken that venture to hear what regular Japanese people sound like, and it's just almost monotone, you know.
I mean, that's
Flat.
sort of the way spoken
Right, anyone
language is
talks.
like.
Right, exactly. It's
You're not
monotone
trying.
flat, it's not inflected.
Yeah, you're not trying to like enunciate every mood you have. I mean, obviously you can't. You'll enunciate a mood if you're happy or sad, but
Right.
generally there's a speaking tone that's relatively, was it normal or even just stable? I guess you'd say.
Right.
In the context of anime, it's more so about the character and trying to like. It's a way to differentiate different characters, just the way their voice tones are and their mannerisms and whatnot. But that's all for the character.
Mm-hmm.
Now, going back to the argument in terms of dubbing and voice acting and all that, trying to, Trying to encompass that character just using your voice. I'll admit it. That can be a very challenging feat.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to
And
fucking maintain a pirate accent for my D&D character, and it's fucking rough. Especially because she's a woman, so I have to like make it softer. But like, instinct tells me to be like, ire, deep, kind of thing. But I gotta be like, no, she is rough and tumble, so it's a little deep, but
yeah,
it's rough.
exactly.
So if just given the smallest like fucking tongue in the ocean taste, you can still feel that these people work hard at their jobs.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not to knock them any way, shape, or form. Just because we don't happen to appreciate the hard effort that they've done. It's just that there's not that many that we've come across nowadays that could encompass the golden age back in
Mhm.
the day. When there
Mhm.
was a lot of when I guess you could listen and hear the different kinds of talent that was incorporated during those series when they were being aired out here in the West.
Right.
Um,
Uh, but let's jump into the shows that you watch and the little bit of what I watched just before we started recording.
yeah, I mean, I feel like you should go first just because we'll just get your one out of the way.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. So, I think I'm pretty sure I've expressed my disdain for Black Clover.
Hmm.
I've stated that I fucking hate it because of the main character, specifically because he sounds god awful in his fucking voice. It makes me want to die.
I mean, he's very talented at screaming.
Oh, he's very talented, extremely. I'm not like if you want to say he's passionate about it, sure, but like it's awful. I hate it, and it completely turned me off from the anime. Granted, everyone, multiple sources say, oh, this is just a super standard, shonen anime. It's nothing special. It's just gonna be one of those that's gonna be longer, maybe 100 and something episodes or whatever, whatever.
Hmm.
But then I listened to the dub. Holy shit, is it like 6,000 times more bearable? He's still yelling,
Hmm.
you know, but it's like it's not so harsh. It'd be just me like, oh my god, you're doing this. I can't. It's a little, it's a little annoying, but it's not like, it's not.
For once, the having it not as passionate works in this case for you.
Oh yeah, it certainly fucking does. It brings it down to a certain level where it's like, oh, all right, this is manageable. I'm not fucking listening to Shinji scream every 5 seconds. That's also another. See, here's a good example of of the golden age not necessarily working out. Evangelion in both Japanese and English was awful because of Shinji.
Well, I feel like there's many different aspects to that
I mean, yeah, but
conversation. But
the
yeah.
main reason why I couldn't watch it was because of the voice acting. Him yelling, just like I couldn't do it. But going back to the topic at hand, it's like it's completely manageable. And then through the few clips that I watch, I got a decent sample of all the other characters, and it's what's the best way to say it? It's
do they was it they match? Did they at least match the characters?
it
Is that what
matches
you're trying to?
characters. Even the female characters, the younger ones, like they didn't try to do the I guess I didn't hit any moe characters. If there are any
Right.
moe characters in Black Clover, I don't know. But every female that they voiced sounded great. They weren't high pitched bullshit. It was great. All the guys sounded like deep and cool, or if whatever character they're trying to put off was fine. Asta, again, like I said, while he still yelled, it was completely manageable. I didn't want to tear my fucking eardrums out. What's his name? The edgy dude.
I mean, I'm not watching Black Clover.
That's fair. They had the brooding character sound like a brooder without being like, you're just, they didn't make him sound ridiculously edgy, but he sounded edgy enough.
Right.
I guess that's a bad descriptor. It's like, when you
Like a moody teenager kind of thing.
like a moody teenager kind of thing, but he's trying to do an anime voice, and it works because he's not trying super hard.
So, what can you conclude from your short found discovery?
So, short found discovery from my limited view of what dubs are offering today, and I'm gonna compare it to like the most recent old style dub that I watched, which was Samurai Champloo. It's definitely nowhere near as good, but it's definitely better than the Middle Age.
Right. Exactly.
I will confidently say I could bring myself. I don't know why I'm saying it this way. I could bring myself to watch a dub from start to finish.
And there you go. As if you
Yeah.
if you listen carefully, John, you can hear all
Yeah.
of the subscribers and all the listeners out there kind of just click away after you've accepted one form
Yeah.
of English dub.
Yep, I've accepted it. It's there. It's not bad. It's not bad these days.
And I do want to elaborate on that as well. And
Hmm.
it's funny how you bring up Black Clover too, because out of the other anime that I watch, Doctor Stone and Fire Force,
Hmm.
the licensor for and including Black Clover as well. All the they all have the same licensor, which is Funimation.
Right, right, right.
And as most of you do know, I hope you guys know, but if you guys didn't know, even back in the golden age, Funimation was killing it. Back in the English voice acting dubbing back in the day.
Hmm.
And we're talking about like your Code Geass,
Oh
your
yeah,
what is it? Was it Rekka 7 Funimation? I feel like yeah, Rekka 7 I think
think
is
so.
Funimation.
Dude, Lelouch's voice was fucking. I'm sorry, I don't. He's a creep, but like, come on now, Vic Mignogna can fucking talk your fucking pants off.
Yeah. Um what let's see, hold on. Let me check one quick here. Yeah. What is it? Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I think also the first Full Metal Alchemist as well. That's also
Yeah,
a Funimation
yeah, they were going for
licensed
the same group.
licensed anime as well. And during the Middle Ages of anime during its time, Funimation was slowly dropping in quality.
Hmm.
A lot of it just seemed much more monotone. There wasn't from the dubs I remember watching in the past during that time. I can remember that uh, there wasn't enough like I guess emotion in general. Like they weren't really trying to act when it
Hmm.
was more so just them reciting lines rather than like act out a
Right.
voice role.
It honestly makes me wonder if like maybe the good voice actors got too expensive for what they were trying to do.
You know what? That could be like a logical thing to think about it.
Because like
Because
they were really good in every anime that those people played in were practically critically acclaimed, within the circle.
right.
So I'm wondering if it's because they were just too expensive, so they had to get the next guy.
Yeah, and they can only do so much, at their current level.
Again, I'm not trying to say like because I feel shitty like, oh, you don't, I don't know anything about the fucking voice acting
No, we don't. I mean, we,
world,
we
but
can't
like it,
we can't judge. We can't judge individual voice actors for what they've done so far. But this is all merely just opinion. That's at
yeah,
the end of
it's
the day,
true.
it's mostly all opinion. We're not trying to advocate that they should do better. I mean, we know damn well that they're doing their hardest and their damnedest to
Mm,
provide us the English dubs for a lot of these series. You know,
right.
we just happen to have an opinion that it's not up to par as it used to be. Whether you take it as a insult or not, that's mostly on anybody listening. It's just that this is more so just it's a good topic of discussion, especially if was it uh, constructive
Yeah,
conversation as
I
well.
guess constructive criticism because we're not just saying, oh yeah, they're trash. Like, there's certain places that could be done better, more, like you said, more emotional inflection, shit like that.
Hmm. And from the experience that I've had so far, I watched one episode of Dark Stone and one episode of Fire Force. I
Hmm.
can confidently say that Funimation has gotten a lot better in terms of
Hmm.
their not just the roles that they picked out, but
Hmm.
also I guess providing their actors much more time or freedom to like really act out their parts. Like
Hmm.
for Doctor Stone was really interesting because what
Hmm.
is it? Our big oaf. He was the kind of the yelly the very he
Right,
was
right,
the
the yelly guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yelly guy, very expressive in all of his emotions. He's very explosive as a character in
Hmm.
general. So I was kind of curious how they were going to implement that in English. Is he just going to be constantly yelling all the time?
Hmm.
Is he just going to be like? Are they gonna give him like a weird accent or something like Mineta in My
Oh.
Hero? No, actually, they pulled off his voice in terms of matching it quite well, and the acting behind it was actually quite good. I'll be honest though.
Hmm.
He sold the character. He really sold who he was trying to be.
Hmm.
And I felt the same kind of what is it explosive determination
Hmm.
that he always puts out whenever he's learning about new different shit or when he ran into Yuzihira in that first episode.
Well, here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, I haven't watched Doctor Stone's dub. I did notice that it seems like a lot of characters are going with that like softer tone in their voice.
What do you mean
That
by softer tone?
like it almost feels because again, jumping back to Golden Age. They put a little bit more grit into their voices to make it um sound a certain way. You know what I mean? Like again,
Not
the Naruto
really.
example, even Sasuke, and I feel like Sakura in certain cases, especially when anytime she yelled or did anything really.
Uh huh.
Um, it sounds like they add a purposeful grit. Now, I noticed it in Asta, but he's supposed to be the yelly character. Did
Right.
it was it the same idea with him? Because also in his Japanese voice actor, I feel like his actual voice is a little deeper instead of just being the regular softness. That they go
Right.
with a deeper voice, English dubber, like an English voice actor.
Like a they didn't go deeper. If anything, they kind of matched up in terms of
The tone.
like tone. Yeah, it
Okay.
because he's portrayed as like a kind of like a burly kind of character, very
Right, right,
athletic, high stamina
right.
kind of guy, a very you know uh up to I guess physical peak, So I mean, even though he's depicted as a high schooler, they didn't go with like a lighter tone, like a softer tone. They stuck
Mm-hmm.
with like a nice like very full full voice, especially when he does his yelling bits and whatnot.
Uh huh.
So they did go a little bit deeper though on Senku, the main character in Doctor Stone.
They went
Um,
deeper.
yeah, not as deeper though. Like maybe
Yeah.
just like how do you say maybe an octave deeper. But
Mm-hmm.
I found it to be mostly what is it? I found that to be mostly it works well whenever he does his like I guess his monologues, like his science monologues and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it I can't remember what the voice actor sound like. It's if anything he sounded a lot like how Lelouch kind of like talks and whatnot. Very confident. He has a way with his vocabulary and whatnot.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm listening to a quick clip.
Uh huh.
Is that fucking? Hold on. He's from back then. I think
Who? Which
it's
character?
Senku's voice actor.
Senkyu?
Hold on.
Uh,
Hold the fuck on.
I mean, hold on.
I
I'm
don't know if
looking.
this one's fair.
Why? Why is that?
Hold on. Because
They're not listing his fucking English
I
voice
know
actor.
because like he sounds super familiar. Unless I like heard it recently. I don't know. It sounds super fucking familiar. What's going on here? Anyway, go on. Sorry. I just something I noticed.
um, where was I going with this? Well, they pulled off Senku's voice actor really well as also.
Yeah, he sounds really good.
Um, now when I watched Fire Force was sort of different, I guess. You'd say. Um, it was definitely a lot more stiffer of acting performance in a sense. I think the only character that I could say I guess pulled his role off well was the captain.
Ah,
So
well, here, but to be fair,
mhm.
I think, fucking, what is it? Yeah, I knew there was a reason why I recognized him. He plays Al, I think, from fucking Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
Wait, are we going back to Senku here?
yes, yeah. As Senku's voice actor plays Al from fucking Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, Alphonse Alric. So what are you trying to
I,
say now?
is that fair? Is it fair?
I mean, maybe we
Ah,
could say that Funimation is bringing back some of their
there you
golden
go.
golden
There you
voices.
go.
You know,
Actually, no, that's a good thing. That's a good thing because it goes on to what we were saying. Like, but I don't know. Because then, like, is it really the new people or is it just the old guy? You know?
um, it could definitely be a situation where it's like the license was it the studio knows what's worth their time,
Right. That's
maybe.
fair. Right.
You know, because we didn't necessarily give we're not giving an argument about that new voice actors aren't good enough. We're just saying that the current, their current choices of voice actors are not optimal to what they've been providing since the golden age.
Though I will have to say, after again watching that quick clip,
Mm-hmm.
uh, while it doesn't sound, I guess the voices don't sound necessarily special anymore. You know what I mean?
What do you
Like they're
mean?
not distinctive.
Oh,
Because
like
like you hear Vic Mignogna in any character, you know that's Vic Mignogna. You know,
right.
you hear anybody. What the fuck is his name? He voices Tom from Toonami. He's super famous, but I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, oh, fuck.
Also Spike Spiegel and so on. Anyway, you know those people. You know exactly who those motherfuckers are
Right.
as soon as they open their mouth. And there's definitely some Japanese ones that you can point out. It feels
Mm-hmm.
like none of the, just again from the two samples, they didn't feel distinct. And now maybe I have to watch a lot more to be able to tell the difference. This is just a super skewed
Right.
bullshit observation. But I don't know, it just does. They don't sound as special as they did before.
I guess that could be an argument made, but I think at that point it's more so just nitpicking. I don't know. I feel like it's
I
a little
mean,
bit
it's definitely
pushing at that
nitpicking. I mean,
point.
this whole thing is kind of nitpicking.
That's true. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, at least Dr. Stone and Fire Force, they did a good job. I mean, despite certain characters they didn't. I guess especially for like Fire Force, where even I mean Shinra had a good match in terms of his voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
I guess even how can you really depict with English Shinra's character, that he's not too complex, but he's also he's got that character that you need to, like, I guess, nail down
Mm-hmm.
as a character.
Well, I
So
think the main I feel like Fire Force skews it a little bit because they're going for something a little different.
yeah,
Because it
and
is a shonen anime, but it's like it's super chill despite everything being about fire. You know?
right, exactly. And I've noticed that too, that at least the ones that I watched so far, what, like the ones that Funimation have done, even the one that you watched with Black Clover,
Mm-hmm.
they all have a similar theme where generally it's generally kind of serious in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
despite all of them being shonen.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed that they do quite recently. The voice acting has done well in terms of a serious tone
Mm-hmm.
in general as far as series go.
Well, as we discussed before, though, that's been English voice acting's like I don't know if I want to say specialty, but strong suit. I guess that's the same thing.
Yeah, at least for specifically for dubbing anime, because
Mm-hmm.
our English our voice acting here in our with our cartoons is phenomenal. It's
Yeah,
just dubbing a different a different country's
right.
medium it's a whole different process than, like, matching up what we have here.
Right.
With their own property.
Still waiting for an anime where fucking Seth MacFarlane is playing somebody. Like, and
That would
hearing
be
Peter Griffin's voice on an anime character would fuck me up.
exactly. But in contrast to that, the other two that I did watch, in English dub was SAO Alicization, as well as The Promised Neverland.
Right.
Now, surprisingly not bad. Like I said, all these are not bad. SEO did a phenomenal job with matching their characters with with voice actors. The acting behind it, both during the action scenes as well as like the laid back, laid back, was it bar scene or like the hangout scenes and what the IRL scenes.
Mm.
They all did pretty well, and as well as Promise Neverland shocked me the most because generally the entire cast is all children, right?
Right. So that's been English's like difficulties doing the higher pitched, smaller voices.
Mm-hmm. Now, what surprised me is the fact that they nailed every character down in Promise
Huh.
Neverland English wise. Even like the 5-year-old and like all the kids like when they voiced in that one episode you kind of get an introduction with like every other kid. Every other kid's
Right.
like talking in the middle of like certain lines and
Right.
all that. They even nailed down the three main characters. Um, not just not just with matching their tones and whatnot, but also the acting behind it, like how their characters are portrayed in the series, and that surprised me the most. I was actually surprised that it blended too well to a point where I kind of stopped noticing it being English in a sense. Like it felt like it was already made. I felt like it was sort of like simulcast with Japanese and in English at the same time. Like it was already kind of planned out, and it was it was just well synchronized in general.
That's really good. Shit.
So, and what is it? And even was it? I mean, even the mom was good in both her when she was in collector mode versus mother mode, and then even the
Mhm.
demons. The demons also did a really good job too, for casting as well. So, um, and even during the emotional scenes in that first episode when they found Connie's body and all that, and when they're crying or when they're
Mhm.
stricken with fear, as the Promised Neverland is good with expressing those characters.
Mhm.
So, and that again, that surprised me the most, that there was a lot, not just they did a good job matching up every character with a good voice actors, but they all like performed like just as well.
Mhm.
And what I noticed is I looked it into it too. I looked up the licensors for both SAO and Promise Neverland are Aniplex America.
Mhm.
So, and the commonality between both SEO and Neverland is like they're generally dealing with younger characters, like high
Right.
schoolers or even like
Right.
even
Right.
younger children, like with Promise Neverland. They do really well so far when it comes to like casting kids or casting teenagers and whatnot.
So are they actually? So I mean,
I
I
mean,
didn't look
you can
at
listen to
their.
a clip, but you can listen to a clip on your end.
Yeah, it's true. Let me do that real
Um,
quick.
they definitely nailed it much more than I expected it to be, because I was expecting a bit of a rougher watch, but I felt it to be a very natural viewing experience, to be honest, when I was watching in English.
Uh huh.
So I was quite surprised about that. I mean, I'll let you listen in on it, Jarron. And for those of you out there too, I mean, if you guys aren't if you guys aren't already watched Promise Neverland, try giving the English dub a listen to, and I don't know, maybe you'll think differently than I am, but I feel like that they knocked it out of the park with these with the casting choices that they had with all these characters, like all the characters, even the children, and from the children up to the demons.
Well, I'm listening now, and we're getting a lot of our character. Fuck, I don't remember their names at
It's
all.
okay. It's been a while.
Uh, what's the orange hair girl?
Emma.
Emma. Emma. Hearing her, she sounds pretty good. I mean, again, um, it's people have those natural like younger sounding voices, and she does sound pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
Homeboy sounds good.
Which one,
It
Ray or
actually
Norman?
sounds like they use like actual teenagers
Oh, really?
because it's their voices sound like almost prepubescent ish
Um,
ish. But I think it would be like actual teenagers if they did voice them. I definitely not actual children that they voice.
right. Well, for Norman, no, as an adult, Emma, her English voice actor. No, they're all adults,
Ah,
like general adults. I guess they know how to like shift their
well there
tones
you
and
go.
whatnot.
See, people have the talent. There, it's there. It's just I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm weird. You know.
I mean, what do you think so far? What do you think so far, John?
Well,
At least for Promise Neverland, just seeing
uh,
that it's like you said, there is talent out there. It's more so just about bringing your best foot forward when it comes to casting choices.
mhm.
We're not knocking out any kind of any new voice actors out there that are getting into it or have a couple of years of experience with dubbing series and whatnot. It's more so about the companies themselves trying to put out the casting choices and casting list, and you
Mhm.
not only trying to find a best fit for the character themselves tone wise and sound, but as well as the acting ability behind the voices.
Right. I actually was watching the Connie scene.
The what? Oh, the Kanye scene. Okay.
Yeah, that I forgot how intense that was. That's not a good example because there's a lot of it where they're just silent. That one just shouldn't count.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like remember the scene afterwards, like when they're like, when Emma's crying out in the field, being in denial and all that.
Yeah.
That's a heavy emotional scene right there that I guess you can
Mhm.
assess. And even the morning scene when they're all kind of gathering for breakfast, that's also a good way to like, I guess, see all the interactions between all the characters and how the voices, how the acting is between
Mhm.
each one of the characters.
Right.
I mean, I'm kind of curious about Connie as well, because Connie, uh, no,
Well, I mean, there
Connie's
were
also an
other little
adult.
girls, so.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, everyone here they've all been adults for the most part, so they didn't actually cast children for, the kids here.
There you
So
go.
it's as what as you can see here, and as what Dron's always said, it's you know talent and really putting out the voice actors that really show, I guess, enthusiasm, as well as show that they can voice act.
Mhm.
They can really sell a character if you give them a script, if you give them like a script or a read up or something, read aloud or something. I think that's what they call
Yeah.
it. Or table read. There you go.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
I mean, I kind of lost track in terms of what the main point of this
the
topic
main
was.
po- the main point was in terms of just speaking about Promise Neverland and a few things that we saw is that again because I only watched fucking Black Clover, which just made it watchable. I didn't necessarily say it was good. Like it's not bad. Like some of the characters from what I saw fit. Granted, I didn't watch much of it in English or in Japanese. Actually, honestly, that might be a good way to push me into dubs is to just start watching Black Clover only in English. But watching the few little, just tiny little tidbit that I saw from Promise Neverland. I honestly think if I just started watching it again, but in English, I'd have the same thing with you, Joma, where I just kind of forget that I'm listening to it in English,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good thing. Like if it, so, uh, I'm gonna get on my high horse again. But after you've had plenty of time reading subtitles, it almost becomes second nature. It's where you can just easily pay attention to what's going on screen and read the subtitles at the same time without really realizing.
Right.
Uh, and you kind of hit that zen moment where you just kind of forget that it's either in Japanese or you're reading anything. You're just experiencing it.
Right.
When it's a little special with subs because again you're multitasking and viewing what's going on and reading, but like when it does it in English, it's good that it kind of makes you forget because it puts you in that similar zen mode, so you're just enjoying the experience without it being without being pulled out because of the voice, which has happened in the past for me.
Right. Exactly. And we're not trying to say that we're. It's not like we're saying that um you shouldn't watch anime in dub. I guess you'd say. At least I'm not saying that. I mean, hell, the first time I ever experienced anime, that was in dub. I wasn't about to try to read subtitles in my spare time when I was fucking 7 years old. You know,
Right, fair. Right, I get you.
one of the first few animes I experienced, in all of its dub glory, was like what Sailor Moon, all of
Hmm.
Sailor Moon, all of G Gundam, was it Big O, Cowboy Bebop, and then the entirety of Dragon Ball. You know,
Right.
I think it's more so. I mean, even with that, even with what I just said just now, English. I guess. Excuse me. The way
No.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that having good English dub is another way to have variety for viewers of all backgrounds. You know, like whether if you're just starting out an anime, you're not. I'm not about to like have somebody watch. What is it? I'm not about to have someone watch a whole. Watch a new series subbed. Where they haven't trained their eye. I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
Reading and having to pay attention and all that. You want something for them to it's easy to like get into. They all they gotta do is pay attention to what's going on in the story, what the characters are talking about, what the characters are saying, what the message is and whatnot. And that can be better conveyed when you have really good voice acting behind those characters, so you can experience the intensity of different kinds of emotions the characters are going through,
Right.
or the intensity of a scene that's happened through just their voices alone.
Right.
And if you're new to the community, obviously that you want that to be an experience for you to let it grow over time. And you're not really gonna do that if you're just if like what 80% of the time you're trying to pay attention as to what's being written on the screen. You're not really getting immersed enough, both visually and storytelling wise.
Until you get good.
Until you get good. Over time, it's like with me and Jarron. Over time, we evolved into better weebs where we've ascended the realm of gods, and we're now able
Look.
to.
If you want to become better at reading subtitles and you really need to want to test yourself, just watch Bakemonogatari. There is so much happening on screen, and they are talking so fast because there's no dub for it. It's just all sub. There's so much happening on screen. The subtitles are going by so fast. They're talking so fucking quickly. You have to adjust. If you don't, it's over. You've been left behind. And it's not like they're just talking and shooting the shit. They're talking about some witty ass shit here. Like there's some deep level conversations going on. You have to be able to pay attention. And it's a gauntlet, but that'll train you.
Right. I mean, and that's sort of an isolated incident, I guess you'd say, when it comes to.
That's my personal, my awakening. That's when I ascended.
But as we were talking about, I mean, the golden age the golden age of English dubbed anime is past us. The Middle Age happened. That was a shitstorm in of itself. Now this is a new chance for new beginnings and whatnot. With Netflixing being a thing now, and accessibility becoming much more easy, especially for newcomers, and even for our kids that are once we start having families, we gotta show them different. We gotta give them different options as to what they want to watch. Whether it's through Netflixing or Crunchyroll or what's it, Funimation, Verve, and obviously we can't just have them start off in Japanese and whatnot, or even or any newcomer in general. So I don't know. I feel like a good English voice dubbed anime is a good gateway to future series and whatnot.
Well, here's my whole thing with it. There are very rare cases where the English dub will trump the Japanese version.
Oh yeah,
and I fully understand not wanting to read the subtitles. I get it. I truly do. It is a lot to do when you're not trained for it. It's just that I don't want you to get so used to it. And for example, I don't want to talk bad about the English dub to Violet Evergarden if it has one. I don't know if it does.
It does.
But like, there are certain things that the Japanese can do in like emotional scenes that just fucking get me, that I have not gotten in English anywhere.
This is definitely true. If I think about it, I think I know what you're talking about.
Like,
you told me this a while ago. You said that like one of the few skills that Japanese have when it comes to voice acting is that they could sound like they're crying just by their voice.
Right.
Right.
and it's amazing. Again, I'm gonna have to sample more from more recent times with those kind of emotional scenes. But I'm like, anybody can just cry, obviously, but like
Mm-hmm.
to really like fucking make your heart wrench because of what's going on is like, I don't like. Again, the Japanese are fucking amazing with it. Like I watched a lot of Clannad in English back in the
Oh, did
day.
you?
Yeah,
Oh, I
just
didn't know
because
that.
because me and my friend wanted to test it, see how far we could get before we wanted to die.
Oh, okay.
It
Okay.
just it
But the
just
dubbing,
wasn't there.
but the
The
dubbing
dub,
or the emotion. Okay.
the emotion just wasn't there.
Mm.
And then I watched some of Gurren Lagann in English. Now this is probably my biggest offender because like just listening to Kamina talk was like, it was like, oh, I'm at the edge. Like it just felt good. You know, in Gurren Lagann, if you haven't watched it, which you should, you better. If you're watching this fucking podcast, you better. I'll fucking find you and I'll slit your fucking eye holes open so you can watch that. It's my favorite anime. And there's a character named Kamina. He's like the, big. He's big. He's Oni-chan, Aniki. He's like your big bro. He's always, he's
He's the
always
cool.
there to.
He's the cool big bro.
Yeah. So here's a good comparison for him. He's the guy, you go into a gym, you don't really know what you're doing. He's the one that comes over to you and starts teaching you how to like do the weights and stuff. He's like, yeah, bro, he's there with you. He's the heart and the soul.
Mm-hmm. And he hypes you up while you're doing it too.
He hypes you up. He hella hypes you up. He literally embodies. And in Japanese, like anytime he opened his mouth, I was just like, oh yes, Kamina, fucking, I feel it. I feel everything that's going on. I'm hyped. But then I listened to him in English, and it's like they tried. I definitely felt that they tried. It just didn't hit the same. Because you get that pang in your heart when some epic's happening. And you're like, oh, I'm at the edge of my seat. What's gonna happen?
I don't know, John. I think that's your boner pinging up.
Maybe it's my heart boner. I don't know.
No, that's your trigger boner. That's what that is. That's what that is.
Fair. Like I also watched some of Kill la Kill in English, and
Oh,
that
wasn't that
one
on
didn't hit
Toonami?
the same either. Yeah, that
Was
was
that
on
also
Toonami.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
Even
But this
during
was
the
a while
yelling.
ago. This was a while ago.
Oh yeah. I mean, even during the what is it? Was it Matoi's?
Yoko Matoi.
Even during those monologue
When they're
moments.
yelling at each other,
Yeah.
Satsuki, Yoko Matoi. Like it just like
Yeah.
in Japanese, it's like, yeah, there it is. I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
English, like here's one thing. Like I don't know. Call me an incel, call me sexist, whatever you want to say it. I don't know why. Just women in English dubs just don't like. If there was a percentile of who sounded better on average, men would be at like maybe like 60-70%. Women are like hitting the 40s, man. Like it's rough.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what it is. Like I feel super shitty saying that. Like I don't. Again, I don't have any experience of voice acting. I don't know what's going on, but like it just.
It's an opinion,
It's an opinion. It's maybe it's a bad one. Say what you will, But like it just. If you find some good ones. Again, I don't want to keep jumping back to the golden age because it's not fair because they were all really good.
And it's gone in past. We have to deal with what we got so far. It's not bad. We don't have a bad lineup so far. I can definitely say that they've gotten better with casting and whatnot. And they're really trying to they're trying to really sell it, especially with with a variety of characters. Like I honestly thought Promised Neverland was gonna be like a shit show of a English dubbing cast, but again, I was pleasantly surprised by it.
I think the thing is, we got our fundamentals. We lost the fundamentals during the middle age, but now that we're in the new age, I guess you could say, we have the fundamentals of pretty good voice acting in English.
Right?
Everything, it's bearable to listen to. You get into it, you can lose yourself into it, which is great. It's when we hit the extremes is when it's difficult. Like when you get the high intensity, high octane yelling.
Right.
The
Now,
high emotion should try
so
to really sell it and bring it home.
so how about this, Ron? So I
Yeah.
remember. So remember the topic we talked about how you don't necessarily want anime to be mainstream in a sense.
Right.
Now, if would you, how would you propose that the more anime becomes more mainstream, the more there'll be a lot more effort in terms of casting and also in terms of better English dub quality. It'll probably never get to the level of Japanese, but it'll be way better and could possibly even surpass the golden age. Would you be willing to at least allow if anime does eventually become mainstream and have that be the result of that?
Well, see, here's the problem with that, Jomo. At that point, I prefer Japanese so much more than like even if like
Or would you at least accept it? Or would you at least accept that
oh yeah, I'll
being a
definitely
result?
accept it. Like I'll definitely accept it because like again, I as as hesitant as I am for it to be more popular around the world, like I want people to enjoy it. Like I want to hear people like, yeah, I want to hear people's like, yeah, Gurren Lagann was the shit. I watched it in English. I felt it. I felt the hype, and I want to be like, yeah, the dub
Well, yeah.
was pretty good, but
I
I
mean,
can't.
I mean,
I want to
it's
be able to say that
what do you mean? Like, oh,
because
is
I
that
want.
I don't know. I feel like this is a superiority thing at that point.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let me break it down. I
Okay.
want you to feel the exact same excitement that I felt.
Right.
I want to be able to relate that with you. And again, I'm gonna go back to Gurren Lagann. I want people to feel as hyped as I did for that entire anime, except for episode 3. We don't talk about episode 3 of Gurren Lagann. I want people to feel as hyped as I was for that entire series in any format that they listen to it in.
Right.
I want them to have the same experience that I did. I'm not
Right.
trying to like say, oh, it's superior. I genuinely say that Japanese is better because I feel that's the best way to experience it to get the whole thing.
Right.
Like I'm not saying it's better just to say that it's better. I genuinely feel like, hey, like if you want the biggest punch, like the best quality of it, I think that's the route to go. And if English could catch up to the point where I can say, either way you go, it's fucking great, then more power. I welcome it. But so that people can be as hyped as I was, I want them to experience it in that way, so that they can have the pleasure of being, as enthralled by it. I don't know.
True.
Maybe it still sounds elitist, but it's just like
It sort of. I mean, it's because it's still this entire thing is still a subjective point of view.
You're right.
You know, you can't necessarily say there's one way of watching an anime.
You're right. You're right. That's why.
At least nowadays you can't.
Right.
Because there's different. There's your opinion. There's their opinion. There's everyone's opinion.
Right.
We can't necessarily. We can't. And as us as wannabe boos, we're not trying to be elitist, nor are we trying to not settle. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're a happy medium, and at least I prefer that wherever you watch and however you watch it, do you, as long as you're able to get yourself engulfed with the story and really connect yourself with the characters in some form or way. Whether you listen to it in English, whether you listen to it in Japanese, whether you listen to it in Portuguese, I don't really fucking care. Because you know how Crunchyroll be putting on those Spanish dubs now, apparently.
Right.
I've yet to listen to any of those, just for curiosity case.
But hold on, let's continue on with let's go on with the English Japanese, because then going on to other languages, that's a whole nother beast.
Yes,
that's a whole nother why is it like this?
Exactly. But in terms of English versus Japanese and whatnot, do you I think it's more so about just understanding where each side comes from and not trying to step on each other's throats or whatnot because they happen to have a higher opinion about an anime because they have watched it in a specific language.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, my take on it, I'm about as casual as anybody can be when it comes to that kind of discussion. like any other weeb, I do prefer the Japanese dub. You know, it's for the same reason what Jarron has put out there. You know, conveying more emotion. They can pull off a lot more different ranges than the English dubbing that I've experienced so far. So that's just my preference. I'm not trying to, whenever I recommend anime to anybody, I never really say them watch this in dub, watch this in sub. I'll just recommend them the anime. I'll just recommend them the anime itself because of it was a story that I found to be enticing in some way. And where in whichever format they choose to watch it, and that's on them. As long as they got the story and we can talk about the story and whatnot, that's perfectly fine. I'm not trying to count the syllables or count the fucking how many moans certain characters are able to pull off well enough. In Japanese versus English.
Actually, this is a quick aside about moans and shit. Let's if we're gonna dub something, we gotta get better with the ecchi anime. It's not good in English. It's not good. It is awkward. Boy, man, watching High School DxD in English fucking.
Why did you ever watch that in English dub?
Exactly.
When did you watch it?
Why. It was some time ago. I don't remember why. I feel like Martrell was showing it to me because he was trying to prove that it was just as good. I'm like, boy, this is rough. Like, here's the thing. We know. All right. So again, this is a little bit of side about the anime High School DxD. It's an ecchi, aka perverted anime. The main character is supposed to sound kind of goofy. He's a goofball. He's a perverted goofball. He's
a horny goofball. What you gonna do,
right? Right. What you gonna do? Hearing him in Japanese, it's fine. We get it. His voice does sound kind of goofy. It's fine. But then when it's put in English, it's like, this is
it creepy? I've never heard of
creepy. It's creepy. It's creepy. Like
we're talking like sexual harassment creepy.
But like it hits too close to home creepy.
No. Oh god, like sexual harassment claims creepy or like
sexual harassment claims creepy. And I'm sure it's the same thing in Japanese. Regular Japanese person heard it and was like, yeah, this guy sounds like a fucking creepazoid. And I'm like, yeah.
Hey, if a random Japanese dude started talking to me in an ecchi voice, I would be I would be threatened. I would definitely, because he's too good at that, and I don't want to see where that goes. You know what I mean?
You're right. Like it's a rough thing. Like we gotta, and then don't even get me started on the girls. Like the moans is, it physically makes me cringe.
I
we can do better.
I can't even imagine the moans, but I can't imagine the sexy talk.
You don't want to imagine the sexy talk. It's it's.
Was it rough foreplay, Jarron? Was that
rough foreplay? That's what it is. Rough foreplay. I was dry the whole time. But everything else we're improving. We're doing better.
Comparable to the list, English dubbing does do better in most serious cases. Now, ecchi, don't even catch me with that shit.
Yeah, don't.
I wish a weeb would.
Ecchi anyway, you gotta have. It's like there's only honestly ecchi only really exists in very few cultures. The concept of an ecchi show.
I mean, it's kind of like a situation. It's kind of a situation where, like, if someone asks me, should I watch this hentai in dub or sub or dub? Like, is that a fucking question?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Unless you're trying to unless you're there for me, don't fucking do it, boy.
Yeah, exactly. I've been into enough anime hells to experience the hentai dubs, and just marvel in the ridiculousness of the fucking dialogue that it comes off of from.
I remember Gigguk's video of how fucking what was it Bible Black, and how was it the best? It was the best like subversive anime in all of existence, or hentai in all of existence. But then it was just him fucking glorifying how shitty the fucking English voice acting was.
Right.
Oh man, that gave me life. But no, it's hentai. Dubbed hentai is fucking. That's difficult. That's a difficult thing right there.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to this discussion, you can't. There's no discussion when it comes to anything remotely ecchi, at all. Now, catch me with the serious stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah. We'll talk about the Attack on Titan and the Death Notes, and all that good stuff. Yeah. But we're talking about High School DxD. We're talking about fucking Icon. We're talking about Bible Black. I'm not gonna have a discussion. I'm gonna say, I hope you're watching this in sub, because otherwise I don't know what the fuck you're doing watching this at all.
Like, you're hurting yourself at that point.
Who hurt you to be watching this in dub? Let me give you a hug and provide you with better options right here and right now.
Exactly. Well, here's the other thing though. Here's like a legit analytical view of ecchi anime.
Okay.
The only people that are going to be watching ecchi anime are people that already only watched anime in English and Japanese.
True, it's an evolution, right?
Right. It's like someone that's willing to watch it in English has no business watching an ecchi anime. Like you're probably a well-adjusted person. You need to you wandered here by mistake.
Exactly. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing here, Normie? I think you've gone the wrong road.
Exactly. Stay on the pure side of anime. Don't come over here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, no, it's but more back on topic.
I mean, it's all relevant, to be honest. You know,
yeah.
I never once considered ecchi because that's how little ecchi anime I ever watched in dub.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I completely forgot about that aspect of things.
Photo Kano in English.
Oh God, you're just making things worse for me, aren't you? Like, not like, seriously, it's one thing to have. I'm just imagining it now, and I don't want to imagine it.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's like your Photokano is like your standard, like really standard visual novel that you can buy on Steam for $10
mm-hmm.
in an anime. And it was a visual novel. It is. It makes more sense. See, I would rather experience Photokano as a fucking visual novel, not an anime.
Speaking of visual novel, though,
what?
School Days also has an English dub.
Does it? Oh my!
Yeah.
How is that gonna?
I haven't listened to it. I refuse to watch the anime.
I mean, maybe it might make things easier for you if you watch it in dub. It may be hilarious to you.
Man,
you think?
Actually, does School Days have a dub? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it has a fan dub.
I mean, I don't know what fan would want to dub that.
There's motherfuckers out there that want to fucking see people. Oh no, it does have a dub. No.
Oh, does it?
No.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no.
I can't. Just knowing that makes my skin crawl. Maybe I think this is. I feel like saying that makes me feel hypocritical now. Saying like, oh yeah, dub's not bad, and but then I say, oh yeah, English of that's gonna make me fucking want to die. Like, I don't know.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, Jarron, it also has a Korean and French dub, so maybe you can watch it in French. Maybe it'll be hilarious to you.
Look, all right. So this is the perfect time to jump on other languages. What the fuck's going on, people? Like, come on.
What do you mean? Wait. What's your hot take on that?
Fucking, why does? I'm gonna attack the Chinese right now.
Oh.
What is wrong? Why do you suck at this? Like,
Jarron, I think you're just being rude at this point. You're pretty much saying, why do you sound Chinese? How dare you? That's what you're trying to say.
No. It's not so much why do you sound Chinese. Like, look, the Japanese, Japanese when they're talking in their normal speaking tones, sound, bland, whatever, blah blah blah. Like,
right,
it's
monotone.
Glorified. It is just Japanese. Any time I've watched an anime and it had a Chinese dub, it is as monotone as humanly fucking possible. Why? Why?
So we're trying to say there needs to be more acting then.
They need to do everything.
I don't know, Drum. Maybe you just don't understand Chinese voice acting. Maybe you're the unintelligent one. You're uncultured.
You're right. You're right. Maybe I'm the piece of shit. But I'm willing to accept that. All right. Is China willing to accept that their dubs suck?
Why do you sound Chinese? That's pretty much the argument you're trying to say right now, Jarron.
You sound Chinese. Why do you sound real Chinese? I need that fake Chinese. I need that fucking MSG Chinese anime. Come on now.
So what? You want Jackie Chan to like voice everything? Then is that it?
Think about it. Think about it. Jackie Chan and fucking and I mean, granted, he speaks English, but Jackie Chan in fucking any of his movies where he just speaks Chinese.
Right.
There's the range of emotion. There's that.
He is quite expressive. I'll say that much. Yeah.
He's
Even in
really
Chinese,
good.
even if I don't speak a lick of Chinese, I know I can tell what he's feeling. He's got a sense of emotion, I guess you'd say, when he speaks
Exactly.
Chinese.
Where's that in the fucking anime? It just sounds like, I'm not gonna try to mimic it because that's racist in itself. But like, come on now, like.
I mean, you want to pull up? You want to pull up some Chinese you want to listen to right now?
No, no, I don't, because it's bad.
I mean, is that really a problem, Gerard, at this point? Well, you know what?
Because here's the thing: we're talking about globalization of anime becoming more mainstream. It
Right.
can't just be in English and Japanese. It has to be in Spanish. It has to be in Chinese, Portuguese, French, what have you. But
Right.
they're fucking lacking. Like I remember, I tried to watch Wakfu, in Japanese. I tried to watch it initially in Japanese because I was interested in the world. It bothered the hell out of me that the lips weren't synced up. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch it in French. The French is kind of there, but it's just because I'm not used to it that it felt weird, so I couldn't really watch. But like I felt them attempting the fucking
Emotion.
because Wakfu is a French-made anime, you know?
Right.
So like I was like, I'm gonna listen to his native tongue. Maybe it's there, but like it just didn't feel like it was there. Maybe again, I'm just not used to how the French sound. Why do you sound so fucking French? But like,
Why do you sound French? Why do you sound so French, mes amis?
I just like. Obviously, I sound like the asshole. I realize that. I'm not saying that.
I mean, have
my
you tried?
opinion Isn't.
Have you tried watching Kolyoko in French?
I have not.
Because isn't that originally French?
Yeah. I'm just saying. Maybe it's because the medium's not as popular being listened to in other languages. Makes sense.
Yeah, we are in the process of trying to globalize anime at this
Right.
point. Netflix is kind of there to like help, as well as Crunchyroll, all the other streaming services. They're all kind of there to like start providing different dubs in different countries and whatnot.
Right. Just please, for the love of God, be better. I want.
Speak better. That's what is that what you're trying to
Speak better. Act better. There you go. Act better.
act. How about that? Just act. Because from what it sounds like, it just sounds like they're reading dialogue, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
It sounds like it. Literally, just sounds like you're reading. It just. I'm sorry. I saw a picture of like one of the Promise from Neverland kids just with a really tiny face, and it got me.
I ran into a meme where like no one. It was one of the no one ever memes. It was like no one ever, and then everyone in Promise Neverland. It had that tiny. It had Phil's tiny ass face.
Anyway, fuck. Anyway, we just want to, as it becomes more globalized, we just need to. Again, I don't want to knock the French or whatever.
I mean, I don't think we have any jurisdiction, Jarron, besides English at this point, to knock any other language.
You're right.
I mean, it'd be interesting if we had any other input. I mean, if for any of our international listeners out there, I do know we have international listeners out there. I don't know which one of you guys are French or shit, but for you international listeners out there that watch anime in another language other than Japanese or English, what do you guys think of your language's depiction of the anime that they're dubbing?
So I remember one of the first few times we did we had a big following in like Mexico. Tell me, what is Spanish dubbed anime like? Come on, hit me up. I want to know.
Yeah. Like the Spanish, are they using Mexico Spanish? Are they using Spain Spanish? I don't know. Like I know there's different dialects and whatnot. Are they using like slang or something? Because that language is diverse as it can be. So, we're not really language experts, as you can tell.
Oh yeah, no, we're just a bunch of pieces of shit,
But if you happen to like watch anime in Spanish, Do you think it's better? Do you think it's better in Japanese? Do you think better in English? I don't know. Is it Spanish or is it English? What's that comparison like? Or is it
Convert me from Japanese to Spanish.
is that is that what we're gonna deal with here?
That's what we're doing. Do it. Convert me to any other language that's not Japanese. Let's do it. That's a call out for anyone. Anyone still listening.
You know what? Russian. We'll go with Russian.
Yeah, okay. You can do. Look, I specifically remember. Yeah. In Anime Club, we watched a German dub of something. I don't remember at all what it was.
Why German? Out of anything.
I don't know.
Okay.
And I was so uncomfortable. Like I felt like I was in danger. Like this, I'm not trying to be racist. It just.
I mean, can you be racist?
German is a very harsh language.
I mean, it's very gutly. It's a very gutly language. Yeah.
That's why I felt like I was in danger. I was like, oh, it's you don't hear German every day. It's like, fuck, ugh.
You know what, Jarron? You know what I actually would love to be what I would love to see a German dub of? Tanya the Evil.
Yeah, that'd be cool if they do it right.
They have like this
cool.
squeaky ass German officer as Tanya.
But it'd be amazing. Like it would fit so well.
Yeah, it would definitely fit the era because fit the war era, the gutly tone of war and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised that it hasn't existed in the first place yet.
Should it exist? Should we wait until we get some people that are good at what they're doing?
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
I don't want them to just be like, all right, do it, and then it's ass. I want it to be good.
It is licensed by Funimation, so them. They know how to pick out their cast. They know
how to pick out English and Japanese people. Do they know how to pick out German people? That's the question. I don't know.
Oh no! I just looked it up, and they've done it already. They've already picked. They have a German. Other than English and Japanese, they got Brazilian, Spanish, and German.
Brazilian.
Yes.
It's a dialect. It's Spanish-ish. It's a different.
It's a different take on Spanish. It's a different take on the language, I guess.
Yeah. Cause I watch a Brazilian Skyrim mod reviewer.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, it sounds very much like Spanish, but like different.
It's like Curse of Spanish, right? Is that what it is?
Curse of Spanish.
That's what it sounds like.
I would say like Spain Spanish is Curse of Spanish.
Really? I thought Spain Spanish is more italic Spanish. That's what I find it to be.
Oh, okay. Isn't Italian italic Spanish?
The entirety of Italian is italics. That's what the language is, italics, Jarron. That's what it is.
You're right. My bad. I forgot.
When you can't read the words in italics, that's pretty much Italian. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Right. Gotcha.
I'm sorry if I offended anybody out there. We just might have offended the entirety of Italy. I'm sorry.
God.
The Pope is not. No, the Pope's not going to be happy with us.
The Pope's cool. He's cool now. He likes gay people.
Would you watch anime? Would you watch hentai with us?
Oh man.
Oh
man, forgive me, Father. You're about to sin real hard.
Let's all watch Boku no Pico together, right? Let's have
700% yikes, dude.
Was that too much? I'm so sorry.
I tried to stomach the first episode. I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. I couldn't. I
what
couldn't
if it was
get into it. Like
what if it was a dub? What if you had it in a German dub? Would that stomach it a little bit?
I refuse to hear. Like I don't think I've ever watched any like porn, like real life porn in like any other language that was like obviously I've heard English, Japanese.
Right.
I've heard some Spanish. I've refused any other language. Maybe French.
So anything that's not of the Latin origin?
Look, I don't want to watch German porn. I feel like I'll lose something.
Guten Tag, Fraulein. As he pulls out a fucking sausage of some kind.
Oh my god, this is not something that should be put online, and like people are gonna call us racist. We're okay. I mean, we're definitely we're idiots. We're dumb. We realize it's bad. Most people don't. Isn't that the step in the right direction?
Yeah. I mean, I know for one thing, I'm definitely gonna be watching. I'm definitely gonna watch an episode of Tiny the Evil in fucking German.
I'm kind of interested in that, to be honest. Like that's,
I know.
but it'd be really cool if we got because there's certain animes that jump between English and Japanese for whatever what have you.
No, like Free. Second
Like
season
Free.
of Free. They had that weird ass segment where they had like actual English voice actors dub English parts, which is weird as
and
hell.
I watched an anime recently. It was Charlotte.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're watching Charlotte now?
Yeah, because remember my friends challenging me to watch Olive Key?
Yeah, I know. I'm now finally you're finally getting to that now.
Right. Well, I already finished it.
Oh, what do you think?
It was actually really fucking good.
Yeah. See, you had nothing to worry about.
Yeah, it wasn't as feelsy as you said it. I get it. I stand still spooked
Yeah.
because I have to watch Air TV next.
Yeah. Oh, that's an oldie though. I don't know. I don't know.
It's not the the old pointy chin fucking.
No, but
it's the
like
new-ish one.
like it's got. I mean, no. It's see. This is Air TV, Jarron. That's the era when like the opening. I listened. This is a bit of a segue. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When I was listening to my YouTube playlist and all that stuff for music, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the Air TV opening hit, I had a slew of emotions in my head, in my fucking heart, and I felt like everything had a purpose and the world was magical. You know those old key openings that does that to you? That shit does that to me.
You're
Whenever
right.
I hear Clannad After Story, fucking Canon, like that. Oh, like it's at that mid 2000s like Japanese openings where it makes the entire world magical and you have a purpose in this world. I just start having delusions of grandeur while I'm fucking listening to this.
Yeah. I mean,
And nostalgia, obviously.
after you gotten past the point where you cry about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
It's more so just like I remember the dark days.
The dark day.
Those were nice.
Yeah. But like going back on, like there was the main character had to travel around the world for reasons, which I won't get into because I don't want to spoil it because it's a really good show.
Mm-hmm.
But he had to travel around the world, and they did different. Like when people had to speak English, they were legit English voice actors. Like, wow, that was actually kind of surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm down for it. Like I want like a full like. If a character has to travel around the world, I want the voice actor to switch to match,
Yeah.
what
Have a
language
full
is supposed
cast,
to be.
a full cast of different, voice actors and whatnot.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like, give me that fucking Mr. Worldwide shit. I'm ready. So I'm accepting it. I want anime to become more mainstream just to see the different things people can do with it.
Right. Like imagine if Italia was done in all the other languages.
Like, oh my god, if they rebooted it and like just everyone just so happened to understand each other because reasons, but like they all spoke their language, that'd be amazing. That it would be fucking amazing. I don't know, but I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
I mean, it's like you said, anime is becoming a lot more accessible. It's I guess you could arguably say that it's starting to become mainstream and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when stuff like that happens, there's gonna be more attention. There's gonna be more attention to it. So that means they definitely will have to bump up the quality of different voice acting in different languages. Including English and whatnot. So I can only see a brighter future when it comes to stuff like this. I mean, hell, if you could like what is it? If you could connect with somebody from like if you went to a con, right, and you cosplayed as a specific kind of character, and somebody started you can connect with somebody that spoke French because they know the character.
Mm-hmm.
And they've seen the anime because it's dubbed in French. That's like it's bringing the world together in a sense.
Right. I mean, granted, most people just deal with like watching watching the Japanese dub.
Oh yeah, with a language
with whatever language subtitle.
Right.
So I mean, similar thing could happen, but like, I don't know. I feel like if they legit watched it while it was acted in French, like you can have a discussion about like how, like the differences. Like I know they have to change the cultural references because they do that with certain animes now where when they're voicing it in English, they change the
Yeah.
jokes to more match an American audience
Yeah.
versus what it initially said in Japanese. So I wonder, like, how would that change in French? How would that change in Spanish? You know?
Yeah, like insert a jelly-filled donut. You know, that good
Right.
old
Right. Throw
good
a
old
pie. You
gem.
know what? You know.
Or a pie. You know what's my favorite kind of pie, Jarron?
3.14.
No, pecan.
Fair.
That was a legit question. Or yeah, that was a legit thing
Oh,
else.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know where you were going with that,
I
but
thought you were about to make a joke, so I counteracted you.
no. I had a different point. Something to do with the fucking dub. Give me a second. I'm about to have it back. Oh. I guess one more advantage, I guess, to having, the native dub, I guess you'd say,
Mm-hmm.
is it would be much easier for simulcasting.
Right.
Know? So, because I don't know how long subbing takes, writing everything out per language and all that stuff.
Right.
So, if you can simulcast a series in different languages, and distribute them all sort of in the same time, that would be good for distribution purposes,
Right.
I guess. I don't know, because I don't know what what the length would be when it comes to subbing, like an episode with a specific language and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Crunchyroll is pretty on top of it, every week and whatnot.
Right.
So I could say that it could be something like that could be improved upon if if you're watching a series live with a live dub, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's a different kind of discussion there. But it's something to think about when it comes to like distributing anime in a myriad of different methods, like either subbed, dubbed in the country's language and whatnot. It's the possibilities are endless at this point.
Right.
And we can only see that it'll improve. Obviously, it'll definitely improve. To which the speed and to the quality, we're not really sure. That's definitely a time that we'd have to wait, and see that develop on its own.
I'm just again the whole reason why I worry about monitor globalization of anime is because I feel like it's going to be regulated. But other than that, everything surrounding that, it's going to be for the better.
Yeah,
That's the only thing.
and plus our community is strong enough to the point where we are positioned worldwide. So
Right.
I don't think any of us will be. I think all of our voices matter at some point. So for anything that does happen, it's not. If it's not, most of the time, it's not gonna be legitimate. It's a creative. Anime itself is what? It's a creative space.
Mm-hmm.
It's pompous of me to say it, but it's art.
I mean, it is.
It's an art form, and it's a artistic way of projecting a medium, I guess you'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But we have been going on for a little bit, guys. Thank you for dealing with our elitist point of view of sub versus dub in this case.
Right.
But
we're trying to, step off our high horse a little bit.
Just for like 5 minutes, and we'll go back on it. We'll go back up to our sub
Submaster race.
Yeah, there we go. The submaster race. Obviously, don't worry. You'll all eventually get there. We'll be waiting. We'll be waiting for you. Daddy will be waiting once you're here.
You fucking right.
But as always, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading us. Remember to follow us and to find us on those sites and affiliated links that we've provided you guys down below, and where to find us and all that stuff. It's a reminder out there if you guys are still out there, I do stream on Twitch every Friday, so hit me up on the Twitch stream, and if you want to see some good old Destiny action. And again, we can't thank you guys enough for reaching our 2,000 total download mark. We can't have done it without you, and that's the truth coming from myself and Jarron.
100%, yo.
And as always, my name is Jomel Socorro.
My name's Jarron Gaddis.
And we on the Wannabe Boo podcast bringing the latest and greatest game anime news, reviews, and waifus for life.
Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll talk to you next time. Mata ne!